So we continue with the apostles, in the Acts of the Apostles, and again they're before the Sanhedrin, and they're not happy because they are being disobedient. They're continuing to proclaim Jesus Christ resurrected, and the Jews are not happy with that. And so, fortunately, one of the teachers stands up and he says, let's wait. Let's wait, because if this is of God, then that's a good thing. But if it's of man, it will destroy itself, right? If this endeavor or this activity is of human origin, it will destroy itself. But if it comes from God, you will not be able to destroy them. You may even find yourselves fighting against God. There's all sorts of human endeavors that have popped up in the world over the last 2,000 years to try to contradict religion, to try to contradict the faith, to try to disrupt the faith, to try to destroy the church, whether it's regimes and fascists and communists and whatever else. But those are all of human origin, and they all fall. The church is of divine origin. The church cannot fall. People like to talk about doom and gloom these days and say, oh, our society is, getting worse and worse, and I hope I don't live long enough to see when everything gets really bad, and we don't know what's going to happen, and maybe we're going to be persecuted as Christians, and maybe the churches are going to be, shut down, and whatever fear-mongering things we can kind of come up with. And, what do you think about that, Father? Well, from the persecution of the church comes great saints, right? When society crumbles, when society falls and breaks down because it's tried to rely on its own human endeavors, it's bad and people suffer. But then from the rubble and from the ashes, the church restores society as she's done time and time again. And so we have to recognize that the things that are human origin cannot save us, right? Even if they're good things. Even if they're good things, even if it's, I have to have capital to be able to, live my life, right? Well, what happens when the banks all crash and all the 401ks all dry up and there's no more money and you got to go to the food line with your ration tickets to get your, little bit of bread? You're going to be upset and think, well, where is God in this? Where is God in this? He's right here, right? He's among us in our suffering. He's among us in the hardships. But those human endeavors, they cannot save us. No matter how hard we try to make them, no matter how hard we try to align them to the will of God, human endeavors will not save us, right? Governments will not save us. Leaders will not save us. Only Jesus Christ. And that's why the apostles were so willing to go against the leaders of the time. They were willing to be thrown in jail. Eventually, they were all willing to be martyred, with the exception of St. John, because they had a firm belief in Jesus Christ. They said, this man is the reason why we live. This man is the man who gives us hope. This is the man who gives us hope for eternal salvation. And so if it comes from God, you cannot destroy them. Do we find ourselves working against God? Do we find ourselves working against God and trying to build up something here and now, something here on earth? Do we find ourselves working against God to try to prevent suffering, whether in our own lives or the lives of our family and our loved ones? We may even find ourselves fighting against God, and we cannot destroy that which comes from God. So let us continue to be faithful. Let us continue to unite ourselves more and more to the will of God. Let us ask for the grace and the strength to live faithfully, to strive to be holy, to reject the things of this world that do not lead us closer to God, to reject the things of this world that prevent us from doing the will of God. Let us ultimately ask that the Lord may continue to be with us and that we may recognize indeed that He is with us even until the end of the ages.